One way or another, life in America will never be the same from now on. How will it be possible for America to have a bright future with about half of the country feeling like the election was stolen from them, regardless of the final outcome? There will be no going back to what happened in the last 4 years. Currently, tens of millions of Trump supporters believe the Democrats are stealing the election. But if the courts agree with Trump's legal team and Trump chooses a second term, tens of millions of Biden supporters will be convinced that the Republicans have stolen the election. In any case, we will be a nation full of very angry people. Currently, the mainstream media is assuming that Biden will be president. But the truth is, we will end up with Donald Trump or Kamala Harris at the White House. Even if Biden takes up the task, his rapidly worsening physical condition will not allow him to serve for too long. Whether it is a matter of years, months, or days, everyone knows that a Biden administration will only be a bridge to the Harris administration. If Trump's legal challenges are not successful and Biden ultimately prevails, Trump supporters should actually pray hard for Biden's health, because things will get much worse for them under Harris. I believe Biden will at least try to maintain the front. He is trying to unite the nation, but when he gets out of the picture, Harris won't hesitate to hammer on his opponent. Harris was rated as the most liberal member of the United States Senate during his time there. Yes, that makes him more liberal than Bernie Sanders. And when he became California's Attorney General, he showed how ruthless he can be at times. He tried to show a softer side during the general election, but that didn't fool anyone. We all remember the far-left politics he adopted during his unfortunate nomination for president, and his record as California Attorney General clearly shows his authoritarian tendencies. Of course, many Trump supporters hope that a Harris administration will never happen, because Trump has won a second term, and without a doubt, this is absolutely possible. On Tuesday night, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany showed Sean Hannity a stack of 234 pages of sworn testimonies from people who testified to witness election fraud in their state. More and more evidence of voting irregularities continue to emerge every day, and I'm sure there will be more bombs tomorrow. But the clock is ticking. As I discussed earlier today, the Electoral Board will cast its votes on 14 December, and any dispute regarding the election of the voters must be resolved by 8 December. This means that Trump's legal team has less than a month to translate the results in a sufficient number of states to give Trump victory, and this will be an extremely difficult task. But suppose for a moment that Trump's legal team is successful. Do you think the left will step back and peacefully accept Trump for another 4 years? Put yourself in their shoes. The mainstream media repeatedly tells them that they legitimately won the election, and there is absolutely no evidence of election fraud. They laughed, cried, and danced in the streets when the big news networks called the Biden election. For many on the left, it seemed like Christmas, birthdays, and July 4th came all at once. Can you imagine how angry they would be if Trump's legal team could change the situation after the state and turn the final outcome the other way? It will certainly be enough to convince many that a peaceful solution is no longer possible. From this point on, I believe we will be exposed to permanent violence on our streets, and this will be much worse than any internal turmoil we have ever witnessed. Like I said, there is no going back to how it was before. Either a Biden regime will certainly be a bridge to a brutal far-left Harris administration, or a second term for Trump will cause an absolute left-wing mood. At this point, I don't see any other options. Is that so? We still do not know who will win. According to the US Constitution, it is the election board that elects the president, and this election will not be held until December 14. In other words, nobody should demand the title of future president yet. You cannot be an elected president when the election has not yet taken place. Yes, if we reach December 8 and Joe Biden is still leading the vote count in the states he leads, it will be seen as running out of time for the Trump campaign. But the 234-page sworn statements are nothing to ridicule, and I'm sure Trump's legal team is working day and night to uncover more evidence of potential fraud. Trump's achievement of this would require the biggest legal miracle in US election history, but it is certainly possible. Currently, we are still playing a waiting game. Most Trump supporters still think Trump will win, and most Biden supporters definitely believe they have this election in the bag. But after the votes are cast by the selection committee, there will be no turning back. And the sheer horror of what happened will begin to collapse in about half the country. Whatever the outcome, the years ahead will be incredibly painful because our society is literally falling apart at the seams around us. After all that has happened, no one will be able to bring us together, and life in America will never be the same again. Most of the idea, comment, information, and criticism containing in these videos have been created by Daily News Report. Before making any important investment decision, use the information contained in these videos as a starting point for conducting your own research. If you make any investment or legal decision, it is advised to consult an expert before making this decision.